Welcome back to it, guys. The Now Morning Show Monday edition continues, where we are getting ready on the 15th of this month to observe World Consumer Rights Day. With a theme of a just transition to a sustainable lifestyle, we are joined by acting senior consumer advocate Eva Noel and the director of Crime Stoppers for Trinidad and Tobago, Mr. Darren Carmichael, giving us some insight on how we consumers can be protected and partake of that just transition. Ladies and gentlemen, good morning and welcome.
Good morning.
Thank you for having us.
Absolutely necessary, because I'll admit that I did not know we had a World Consumer Rights Day, first and foremost. But I do understand it is necessary, because in this world of heavy consumption, especially across the globe, we do need to have some sort of protection, some sort of rights, and some sort of framework within which we operate. So if you could give us a little bit of insight as to what the Consumer Affairs Division does in their capacity to protect us consumers.
Yes, I can. So our first job, we are the advocacy arm of the Ministry of Trade and Industry, and our mandate is to protect consumers. So it's consumer protection and redress, consumer empowerment, and consumer research. Those are the three octopus arms of the Consumer Affairs Division. So our first, consumer protection, we go about doing research about various issues like trends. Where there are issues with consumers, we pick it up. If there are electrical item issues, the research unit will pick it up. We also do lectures. We also reach out to non-governmental organizations and partner with them to make sure that every consumer knows what their rights and responsibilities are as consumers.
Now, there's redress in that as well.
Yes,
I definitely want to touch on what redress means, as in complaints and concerns come to you guys too.
Yes. So if somebody has an issue with a supplier about a good that they purchased, there are 4 forms of redress that are available to them. Once the product is deemed to be defective or there's some sort of a trade descriptions violation, so the redress goes in the order of entitled, refund, exchange, credit note, or repair, in that order. And it's the choice of the consumer once there is an identified defect in the product or if there's some sort of a trade descriptions violation.
I love that these are, as you say, entitled, first and foremost, and that this is information we can immediately put into good use.
Yes.
But there is protection, and there is, as they say, one-hand car clap, some sort of collaboration with the Anti-Illicit Trade Task Force. So I want to ask Mr. Carmichael how your role is impacting the average spender or the average consumer then.
Good morning and thank you for having me. The Anti-Illicit Trade Task Force really was set up just almost 2 years ago. And our role really is to collaborate, is a collaboration between the public-private sector organizations, specifically to limit the trade in illicit consumer goods. All right, that is a serious problem both for the businesses. When you talk about protection in terms of, imagine you set up a legitimate business. And you have these foreign actors come in and selling their product. Sometimes preference over your product in terms of the cost and the value and so on. So we are here really to retard or limit that spread of illicit trade throughout Trinidad and Tobago. And of course, both, like I said, protecting the consumer, because it's consumer goods we're talking about, and also the economy. You could well imagine somebody is like tobacco, for instance. You have tobacco being sold on the market that is illicit. 10% of the sale of tobacco across the country is presumed to be illicit trade, as much as 10%. And if you were to put a dollar value on that, that equates to almost $30 million a year, right, in terms of illicit, and as you know, illicit trade. So not only the consumer is affected,
but
the business is also affected, the legitimate ones, and as well the economy, because that is 30 billion of taxes, that is 30 million of taxes that are not being remitted to the government.
And we all know how much we need that. But now, in terms of what else we need is to understand then how we, the people, play a role in these observations. So for example, on the 15th itself, are there ways that we can partake in some sort of event to educate us, to empower us, and to inform us at the very minimum? Anything to look forward to on our calendar?
From where we sit, we are happy to share the stage with the Consumer Affairs Division. So the Anti-Illicit Trade Task Force, we have 4 working groups: alcohol, tobacco, pharmaceuticals, and cleaning agents. So all 4 working groups will be represented on that stage. And it's basically to bring awareness, because we're in a mode now where one of the objectives that we have to set out is to build awareness among the citizenry, to build awareness of the type of products that are out there that are in use, to build awareness of the safety as well as the health hazards that these illicit products cause. So we are there, and we have a number of examples and people to speak on the topic to show what exists and how it's illicit and so on.
Sounds good. Now, Eva, how does this extend into the just transition to sustainable lifestyle theme? In terms of actions, in terms of, information that we could use to do exactly that, what should we look forward to?
So the just transition talks about making sure that it goes back to the rights of the consumer, making sure that the products, like he said, are safe, so that the clean agents that, the clean agents that come on the market, we are able to partner with ATIF to make sure that it doesn't reach to the consumer, or that they're educated about what to look for, what not to buy, those kinds of things. All right. In terms of the day itself, we will be also partnering with EMA, Ministry of Health, and we want to make sure that people pass through, because we'll be at C3 for 4 hours. So we want people to pass through, get information about, again, ATIF, and as well Consumer Affairs, about your rights and how this just transition affects them, and what they can do as consumers in terms of recycling, reusing, upcycling, those kinds of things. So we have SwimCall as well on board for that part.
I would imagine. SwimCall is the name when we talk recycle, I
Correct,
suppose.
yes.
But we also have a number of partnerships or agencies, apart from the 2 that you're representing, that are very strategic in terms of assisting and supporting these endeavors. And so will we see representation from the likes of the Ministry of National Security, for example? I know that other ministries like Land and Fisheries will also have conversations about sustainabilities and goals. So will we see these other entities being represented as well?
I could say that yes, we will, simply because the Anti-Illicit Trade Task Force comprise members of the Ministry of Trade and Industry, the Ministry of Health, the Trinidad and Tobago, the Coast Guard, the Customs, Police. We also have Lands and Fisheries, as you did mention. Persons are also on board from the Financial Intelligence Unit. All right, so, and of course the Intellectual Property Office, we have the 2 chambers, Trinidad and Tobago Chamber of Commerce. We also have the Manufacturers Association, and of course Crime Stoppers. So it's a mix of persons, Bureau of Standards, particularly when it talks sustainability, quality checks, and so on. But I just want to mention that sustainability also speaks to economic sustainability.
Right.
And of course, where we factor in the illicit product and the beneficiaries, particularly of the ones who engage in this illicitly, right? They have that money has been known to pump back and fuel back into gangs and gang activity and terrorist financing and so on. So we have to be very, very cautious when we speak about the impact, and particularly the negative impact of the anti-illicit trade on the economy.
I think being thorough perhaps is another condition that you want to consider, because many persons do not think of how this continues to,
impact.
Aid and exactly impact crime. So it's very, very potent information that you're going to be sharing with the public there in a very informal way. The last one was at the promenade. You said this time we were going to the C3 Center. So we north, south, next one might be
Arima.
Hopefully.
All right.
Hopefully.
We're targeting Arima.
Okay.
So I don't know if you share the platform.
Yes,
all right.
most
I like how
likely,
the
yes.
collaboration happening already.
Yes.
And in that case, there will also be some new spaces that we can visit. If we can't come to C3, I understand there's a website that we can check out as well, yes?
Yes. So Consumer Affairs Division is launching the website on Friday, before the Saturday, just in time. And we have a lot to look forward to in terms of us stepping out on our own, out from under the umbrella of Ministry of Trade. Now, citizens can still access us under the Ministry of Trade,
Right.
but with the launch of the website on Friday, we will have our own handle and everything that you can go onto, and you can also access us via social media. And as well, too, we want to point out that the website is going to be mobile friendly.
Oh, nice.
So that people can access it via their phones. We can lodge complaints via your phone. So we want to make it really interactive for the consumers, and we want to reach more persons. So the launch is on Friday in time for World Consumer Rights Day on this Saturday.
Hopefully we can have you on again before the end of the week, not just to remind persons about the expo itself, but also to go through those specific 4 steps that we're entitled to as consumers.
Yes.
And hopefully be more engaged and more familiarized with the upcoming app launch. And on that note, tell me those handles for social media and the website.
All right. So the website is consumeraffairs.gov, as in government.tt. And you can still access the trade website on click the link, tradeind.org.tt. Right, so the consumers can also access us via Facebook, Consumer Affairs Division TT, and on Instagram, same handle as well.
Same handle. And Mr. Carmichael, how do we connect with your entity?
Right, so the Anti-Illicit Trade Task Force, she did mention Trade IND, so that is there. And all the players, whether it's the TTMA, Trinidad Chamber of Commerce, Crime Stoppers, and all the social handles for the Anti-Illicit Trade Task Force as well is there under the Trade IND link.
Okay.
All right, so.
No new website just yet?
Yeah, well, Trade IND, that's all.
Yeah.
I only joke, just because we know very much that we can connect to Crime Stoppers.
Well, CrimeStoppersTT.com is always there for use, you know.
Exactly. But I do appreciate you both joining us this morning. I wish you the best of luck with the event on the 15th. But I also look forward to having you back so we can continue these conversations and be educated and be empowered as you so like us to be.
Yes.
I am big on consuming, so I need to make sure I am. But for now, we're going to have even more for you to consume, but a little bit more entertaining after these messages here on the Now Morning Show.